This video is your friendly reminder to fact-check stories before you share them. Hey everyone, I'm Colin, the resident nerd and Bible scholar here at the Bible Uncut and Unfiltered. And this video today is going to be a little bit nerdy. We're talking about the ridiculous things Christians say and what they should say instead. And this one's a deep cut, but it's still really important. So for a little bit of background that you need to know, when you have a large number of biblical manuscripts put together that cover a good bit of the books of the Bible, and it's bound in something that looks like a modern day book, it's usually called a codex. There are only a handful of codices that we have from the last 2,000 years, and one of the most important of them is Codex Sinaiticus. It can be pronounced a little bit differently, but the main part is you have the word Sinai in there because it was found at a monastery around Mount Sinai. Codex Sinaiticus is really important because it contains one of our oldest copies of the majority of the Bible all together in one place, and particularly of the Greek New Testament all together. But in the circles I grew up in, we villainized this particular text because it was related to modern versions of the Bible rather than the King James. And so we were taught that those versions were unreliable because the text that it was based on was unreliable. Now, all of that is more than we have time to get into in this short video today. So if you are interested in any more of that information, go check out one of our recent mini-series that we've done, From Scroll to Screen, talking about the Bible's journey through time and technology. I get into it a lot more there. But what I want to focus on here with this video is that when I was in school, I distinctly remember one of the professors telling a story about how Codex Sinaiticus was found in a trash bin at this Catholic monastery in Sinai. And so as the story goes, why would you possibly want to read a Bible that was based on a text found in the trash? Like, that just doesn't even make sense. Problem is, that story is not accurate. For starters, St. Catherine's Monastery is Greek Orthodox, not Catholic. And secondly, the codex was not found in the trash. What happened is there were a handful of pages from it that had become too weathered to be legible. And so those particular pages were set aside in a bin to be repurposed and likely recopied, but they weren't just going to be thrown out from the codex, and the codex itself was certainly not going to get thrown out. Now, I realize that fact does not change a person's opinion on the text issue. If someone is still against any version that isn't TR based, this story is not going to change their opinion of Sinaiticus. And that's fine. It's a much bigger issue than can be settled by one short video. But this whole matter should serve as a reminder for us to fact-check stories that we hear. Just because something sounds good or just because you heard it passed along does not mean it is actually true. And particularly if you are someone who is teaching this information to someone else, stop before you share the info and just do a quick Google search. Right? I came across this because I was doing our From Scroll to Screen series and I needed info on Codex Sinaiticus. So I thought of this story that I had been taught in college and I had heard multiple times. I had read it in multiple books. And I wanted to make sure, is this story actually true? Is this going to affect how I need to present the material? And it only took a couple of clicks to realize the story wasn't true. I mean, to the point that if any of you know Chick Tracts, super conservative, fundamentalist, King James only group that prints the little cartoon tracts they hand out, even they have an article saying that Codex Sinaiticus was not found in the trash. So it's really not that hard, and it's embarrassing that my college taught that as fact when a quick Google search showed that's not actually the whole story. So what could we say instead? Well, we can start with the truth, even if it doesn't bolster your opinion. Even if you're somebody who prefers a TR Bible and doesn't like modern translations. Okay, but please take the time to research your positions and don't continue to perpetuate stories that are not factually accurate. How we got our Bibles is a complex and sometimes even messy process, but not in this particular case. So if you found this interesting or you want more information on the matter, definitely recommend checking out our recent series, From Scroll to Screen, the Bible's Journey Through Time and Technology. And with each episode, I listed a large number of resources on the web pages for further study on the matter. So if you enjoy this, be sure to check out the podcast where we go into this kind of thing in a lot more detail.